Hello, and welcome back to the 100 game analysis of Downfall's Guardian. Uh, will be our second run. Our first run was a win. Probably one of the stronger wins I've had in a while. Got a lot of strong combos to come together. Two very good relics at the beginning. Snekawai, two construction forms. Yeah, it all came together very easily. Still got this barrier behind us. And now we're going to move on to the second run of the series. Still no seed. Ascension 20, let's begin. Today our gem is Emerald, gain 2 temporary dexterity. Okay. And our boss is Ironclad 1. Okay. So if you were here for yesterday's video, I mentioned that the vast majority of the time I boss swap on this character. But the one exception is when Ironclad is the first boss of the game. And the reason being that he is very, very strong. Essentially a hybrid of an elite and a boss, where you have to kill him quickly or he will essentially kill you. He puts a lot of statuses into the deck very quickly and does a lot of damage. So your Act 1 needs to be dedicated to beating him rather than trading off your early power for later power. So our other options here are upgrade a card, gain money, or lose max HP to gain money. And generally this third option is very strong on in the normal game. And I'm liking these two shops at the top. That means I'm probably going to end up taking that. In terms of elite pathing, we have a 2 elite, 3 campfire route on the right, and a couple 3 elite paths in the middle and the left. As for the first couple fights, before the first couple floors before the first elite, I'm not really a fan of this pathing, but with the extra gold it should be fine. The reason being is that the maximum number of fights I can get before any of these elites is 2. There's 2 question marks here, 3 here, 2 here. There's 4 on this path, and still 2 here. So hitting up an early shop should get me, at least in theory, some good cards for the first elite. Losing max HP isn't a big deal. Especially not for this many souls. Or gold. I guess we just have to decide on flex pathing. Like I said, this is a 2 elite 3 campfire, which is generally very safe, especially since the campfire is after the last elite. So if I need the extra health, I can rest here. But it would mean that I can't opt into 3 elites, in case I'm strong enough. A 1 elite difference isn't a huge difference, though. I could go this way, start here. Although if I do that, I miss out on a campfire and an elite if I have to bail out. Although I could go through here, and then just bail out here if I can't hit the last elite. Maybe that's flex path enough. The second shop here is kind of weird, because I'm hoping to spend most of my gold at one of these two. The extra campfire can be nice, but this one is already very late. So the chances of it, actually I think the chances of me getting a gem on this path that I wouldn't get here is actually impossible, because the extra campfire I can't get an extra gem. So I am going to take this path. I like having extra risk available in case I'm strong enough. I think losing 1 campfire is not that big of a deal if I am not strong enough. And as usual, upgrade Twin Slam with the gem inside. Another bad turn 1 draw against Jawworm. Usually you want to be able to get Curl Up in play in early turns of early hallway fights, so if you draw it again, you can use it to go into defensive mode. One thing that I have historically had trouble with in the past is remembering that I have this starter relic since I boss swap so often. When I first go into defensive, I'm going to be getting 20 block instead of 10. So that means that if Jawworm attacks for 12, then this should be enough by itself to block. Although, in this particular draw, playing a strike does nothing, so I think I'm going to just do this anyway. And then if Jawworm attacks for 17 next turn, I'm more than covered. Things are really just lining up the way I say them right now. It's cool. Didn't really need it anyway. I got another 10 block. Amethyst and Aquamarine. That's very interesting. So Aquamarine is the obvious Twin Slam combo with Dexterity, but I am definitely considering Amethyst because this is a very strong gem to put in Twin Slam in the first place. If you were to socket this in anything that can't multiply the gem, it can be mediocre. Like if you were to put this in let's say the priming shot that we saw yesterday, the deal 8 damage for 1 energy, gain 3 brace, socket. A lot of enemies in Act 1 especially only attack once, so a lot of the time you're just going to be blocking for 2. But with Twin Slam, it brings up that minimum to 4 if you play it both times, which is good. And then in the times where it's very strong, like in multi-attacks or multi-enemy fights, this will block for 4 times however many hits are incoming. So it amplifies the best part of the power and brings up the power of the weak side of it. That being said, Aquamarine Dex is 14 block if I play this twice, and that is a lot. So can Amethyst block for 14 if I use it twice? Only if there are more than 3 hits coming in. So I think the math works out that I take the Aquamarine. And despite that not being an attack, the first card reward not being an attack kind of demonstrates why it's important to take so many fights before the first elite, because you're not guaranteed to be able to find damage. So taking more fights is generally better. I'm really hoping that 350 gold about will be enough for this. Yeah, fighting Merchant early on in an act is usually a free card reward, but you can't really do much damage to it. Also, it gains a strength for future fights. Looks like this is going to be a charge core here. I think even if we find a strong attack card in the shop, this is still going to be super important to take. In yesterday's run, we had a run with 2 of those in the early game. 10 for 1 energy is pretty efficient. The extra card draw is really nice as well. So we don't have really great cards here, except for Future Planes. Future Planes is generally okay as a starter thing. I sometimes take Future Planes on on the first floor. Being able to put things in stasis for future turns is usually strong enough. I wonder if you could do that on Silent with well-laid plans. The main difference with well-laid plans is that the main 2 differences, obviously, like you save a card for next turn as opposed to like 2 or 3, but you also get them back for 0 cost, which is really why this is so strong early on. Even though it's investing in the future, you don't get any immediate benefit. It still provides a lot of extra value, which you might often need at 3 energy. So anyway, there's that, but there's also these 2 cards. both big attacks. Atomic Beam especially good here because it's an AoE card. Losing 1 energy next turn is actually not too harsh. Toolbox is here. The other 2 relics I'm not too interested in. It's a Fire Potion and Card Remove. So there's also this, Evil Within. Giving a random boss card. I think for 200 gold that's a little too expensive. Gaining a random boss card is cool and all, but I'd rather be able to choose if I'm spending that much gold. And even then, I probably won't buy it in favor of these other things. If I were to buy everything here, this would be 264, 339. Okay, so I'm 10 gold short. Sorry, I'm 10 gold left, which means I can't get the Fire Potion. Between these 3 things, though, it should be fine. This is just really strong. Toolbox is really good too. And Card Remove. I think with the Dex gem, it does make the defense better, kind of like last time. Toolbox can also give me attacks occasionally. I am going to just remove the strike. I think this early, being able to stall fights is perfectly fine. Ooh, okay. Everyone's favorite event, Scrap Ooze. Getting it this early is a big risk reward question. The way that I usually approach this event is I spend as much HP as I think I can afford. Like, I think a lot of people that try to figure out this event are like, okay, what are the average, what's the average benefit that I get from a relic versus how much HP I lose? And in Act 1, you just, I think it's more correct at least to think about just how much HP you can afford to lose, rather than trying to factor in the chance or effect of a relic that you'll get. Because let's be real, worst case scenario, and it happens semi-often, a random relic is not going to give you any benefit until the end of Act 1, or maybe could be completely useless. So, it's all about just how much you can afford, in my eyes. At 53 HP, first click goes down to 48, then 42 on the second. After this, you may be noticing some lag, by the way. I tried to fix that with something, doesn't seem to be working 100%. That's okay, though. So we have this elite. If we take too much damage from this, we can go left and rest. The other shop will be kind of sad, but I think getting a card reward should be fine anyways. Hit this elite, maybe rest again, and then we dodge the last one. I am feeling somewhat confident having taken this big AoE card, though. You may notice that the numbers are actually bigger than even an Immolate. Immolate does 21 damage base, and the upgrade does 28, but this one does 34. Obviously, the downside is a little more immediate, a lost energy compared to a burn, but it's, as I said before, it's usually worth it. I think we can click at least once, and click a second time. Clicking a third time takes me to 35. 35. So Gremlin Knob's first 2 hits are 8 and 32, 8 and 24, which is 32. So I would be able to survive that. Lagavulin hits for 20 twice. So 35, if I were only able to use 1 defend, I would die. But I don't think that's going to be the case with this deck. Considering I have 4 defends available, I have bronze gear available, and sentries I have an answer for already. I'm going to click one more time, and not only did we win, we got probably the best relic we could find right now. Preserved insect. Okay, so risk of taking events in Act 1 is that you get this one, where you're forced to take at least one curse. Didn't really factor that into everything that was happening here, but I think it's okay. In my last run, I mentioned the importance of being on at least 15 cards going into a fight. Because of Sentry specifically, you don't want to shuffle 4 of your best cards, without 4 of your best cards, and have a ton of dazes in your draw pile. So, I think in some cases I would think about taking this second option to take me to 15 cards, specifically. But, as I said before, I have a solution for sentries. So I might be able to kill at least one on the first rotation, which is really important. So it might be a more correct choice to take as little curse as possible in order to not take as much damage later. So I think that's going to be our choice. This event in particular is kind of hard to see a reason to take extra curses. But you know, sometimes things are just like that. Interesting. Okay. So I have 6 attacks in the deck, right? Drawing all of them this turn would make my future turns against Gremlin Knob worse. And also I would not be able to play all of them. Oh, this is only 3 attacks. The upgraded version is 4. I'm usually a big advocate of this card, because even in fights where you don't want the attacks, you can draw through them easily so that your future turns are better. But I think in this case, having the attack spread out rather than just on turn 1 is better. And if I draw too many this turn, I think Forethought is perfect for fixing that. Of course, that did not actually happen. But the 15 card rule is coming back into play here. If I put a defend on the bottom of the draw pile, and my third hand has, like, 3 attacks, then it will have been beneficial because I'll draw back through them on the reshuffle. So I think I'm going to do that. Okay. So we hit Twin Slam. There's Charge Core again. Next turn we have 32 damage, so 21 left. I can do 17 this turn, but I can't do any better than that. What I could do is play these 2 attacks, then Aquamarine, and not play the ward, so that Gremlin Knob goes to 11 attack. Then next turn play Curl Up. And when I play Curl Up, I'll go into defensive mode. I'll go from 28 next turn to 33, but I'll block for 20. So that's a total of 11 plus 13, 24 damage. I think that is preferable to 32. And then Curl Up Atoma Beam should be fine. We don't have a lot of cards that we want to reshuffle anyway, so I think I am going to play the Charge Core. Intentionally take more damage here to go into defensive next turn. Yeah, as I said, we don't have quite enough. But what I can do... He goes from 33 to 37, I think. Yeah, 22, 25, 37. Yeah, so I could play this defend and then curl up to save 1 more HP, so I'm going to do that. Okay, first elite, we survived. Not the best HP to be at right now, but we did get Akabeko. Stasis Strike, gain a stasis slot when used. It's pretty efficient damage, so I could just take this as an attack common, and then build into the extra stasis slots later. If you're able to build aggressively into stasis with a lot of stasis slots, that can be a really powerful build. Because if you can put half of your deck into stasis and then get half of it back every turn because they're ticking down to 0 cost, that's a really strong way to scale. So I think that is just a correct choice there. Nunchaku. Every time you play 10 attacks, gain energy. Gladly. We're up against Lagavulin or Sentries next. And I think, even if we got Sentries and Automa Beam turn 1, we still have a risk of taking a lot of damage. What we want to do here is go left and rest. Or we could get a full heal here, if we're lucky. Or we could get stabbed. Okay, so let's go to this final choice. Lose 9 HP. Or we could fight and try and get Gremlin Wheel again. We did just fight Gremlin Knob and have a tough time with it. Gremlin Knob would have probably, I think at worst 68 HP. Our last fight was 66, and I think the maximum Gremlin Knob can roll is 90, which would go down to 68. Or would it be 67? I'm not sure how Preserved Insect counts the rounding. And anyways, at 68 HP, this takes him to 42, 32, 23, 9. So we do have a kill in the first 3. It's just, we also have to deal with a sneaky gremlin for this fight. And also we have to get a good draw order. We could still survive if we take the correct amount of damage to be able to go into, what do you call it, defensive mode, and be able to block most of the damage as well there. Although, the second hit won't be fully blocked, even if I do block for 20. So this is very risky. Oh, but we also have Akabeko, and we still have Toolbox. Our first fight was not particularly lucky. Can we get away with it? Akabeko helps a lot. Alright. The series, in the series, it's all about learning, right? Among many other things. I think taking the risk here is the more fun play for me personally. And I think I can get away with it. So let's find out. Okay. We rolled Swift Strike turn 1. That's really good. I think that outclasses the other 2, because Dark Shackles can't really do anything this turn except negate the front guy. So we take Swift Strike. I was kind of hoping for Automa Beam this turn. But, you know, it's not always going to be that easy. Something we could do is take the 10 damage here in the hopes of getting Curl Up next turn. If that were to happen, we'd be able to go into defensive, and we would be able to block pretty much fully what goes on. We could also just block like normal. If we block like normal, we don't have enough energy to play both the strike and the stasis strike. I think in every case we keep this guy alive, though. So I'm going to do what I know I'm going to do so far, which is that. So it's a question of, do we deal damage to Gremlin Nub, or do we take the full 10 here? I have two big hits I want to draw next turn, either Curl Up or Automa Beam. Chances of not hitting that would be 10 in, it's 10 in 6. Let me do some math here. 20 in 90, I think. So a 2 in 9 chance, about a 22% of missing, which isn't great. Gremlin has 40 HP left, which means Automa Beam plus turn 3 will kill. I think even if we miss these 2 hits next turn, I can kill Gremlin, the sneaky Gremlin, and then tank Nob's hit, which means we double defend. Okay, we got Curl Up. That was one of the things that we wanted. But we might be able to save HP anyway here. Oh yeah, so my plan would involve taking the 10 damage and going into defensive mode. And then this would have been an 11 attack, and I would have been in defensive mode for 20, so I would have been full blocked. But, as I calculated before, 26 plus the 14 from Twin Slam is 40. So we can just do Charge Core, Twin Slam twice, and only take 8 instead of 10. And we win. Oh, we even drew Swift Strike there. Alright, now reward is Wheel of Change, 100 Souls, and Distilled Chaos. That's big. Like I said last run, Wheel of Change and the Souls is just really, really strong to get from this event. So that was worth doing. We now have a lot of gold going into the shop, which is almost exactly what happened last run too. We didn't have very much gold, and there was a potential shop in our path, and then we hit that event, killed the Gremlin Nob, and we were just good. If we're lucky here, we'll even get a full heal, and then I can upgrade a card instead of resting. Or we could remove a card. Also an interesting choice. Let's see. The 15 card rule would also apply to Ironclad 1, for the same reason as the Sentries. Reshuffling without your good cards is just disaster. Although it might actually be better to take 16 or 17 cards. Card remove on Icky is nice. If I took that, we'd rest here, go to the shop, potentially get a second remove. We'd be down to 11 cards. Then we'd have to, like, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There's always the choice of saving the wheel for later. But if there's something good in the shop that I want to buy over a card remove, then I would be stuck with an Icky in the deck. With the potion, I think just resting now is fine. You know what, I feel like I'm going to regret keeping the Icky in the deck. I feel like that's something that's just going to come back to haunt me a lot. So let's get rid of it. Alright, and now we rest. 23. Alright, now we gotta beat this guy. Panacea, that's interesting, but we only have the Dex Ward. Sorry, the Dex, Gem. I guess there's also Atoma Beam. That would work for Atoma Beam, but... yeah, unfortunately I don't know what we're drawing this turn, so I wouldn't even know if that's, So if we drew Atoma Beam, this would be good, but I don't know if we are. It might be right to do that just so I can be safe. Losing out on 26 damage is a lot worse than losing out on 8. We did not draw it this turn, but we did draw Twin Slam, which means we'll be able to keep the 2 decks for next turn. Actually, that was wrong. I should have played both of these first, so that the debuffs would combine and then play the Panacea, because then I would have 4 permanent decks. And then yeah, this would have blocked for 9 instead of 7. Would have saved 2 HP there. I could always do this. Be able to play both defends. It would save me 8 HP. I think we can do better than that. Especially in, like, one of these upcoming fights, this is just going to be a lifesaver, I think. I think playing Twin Slam, the second Slam, was wrong as well. Forgot I had 2 energy. Alright. Always gotta keep powering through those mistakes. The more you get your head in the game, the less will happen. Another card. Okay. Planning is a perfect card to take with Stasis Strike. Doesn't seem like it does a lot on its own, but the setup for future turns is great. I also personally like it against Ironclad 1. It may even help with the 15 card rule, as I said before. Although I might have to change the name. I don't think 5x card rule really rolls off the tongue like that, though. Maybe it's correct to take Charge Core, though? Maybe it's correct to take a second one for extra card draw. It draws 2 cards and then goes away. I guess this is also technically drawing 2 cards, but it doesn't go away. Alright, we'll take that. Okay. I'm liking both the relics I'm seeing here. So that is kind of validating my choice to remove at the last fire, because I kind of want to take those, at least one, and I would not have enough to buy a card remove here. What else? We have Bobble Burst. I think without a gem to socket and the current cost, it's not worth it. More common cards. Vent Steam I would consider at 28 gold. We can buy that with a relic if we wanted. Second Atoma Beam is interesting. That would help a lot with Act 2. Can't buy both that and a relic, though. This relic, by the way. Whenever you enter a rest site, if you have at least 10 upgradable cards in your deck, upgrade 1 at random. We currently have 12. So it would depend on how big the deck gets over time. But I'm considering that we have Stasis Strike and potentially going into a lot of Stasis stuff later. A larger deck would not be bad. Also, I'm not seeing that we have solved a lot of issues going forward with the deck. We don't really have scaling yet. Getting Orb Block into a Stasis slot to gain extra strength is kind of difficult. I'm hoping the Toolbox will be able to help. But even if we could also take the oddly smooth stone to save more HP in the Ironclad fight. We are hitting another rest site, so Barbell would hit something. I would definitely prefer it to hit one of the defends or any of these cards than a strike or the curl up at this stage in the game. Actually, I would actually prefer it not hit planing or stasis strike. So I guess the number of hits is limited. I think that would be definitely a longer term investment in terms of survivability. And like I said, the outset of this game, we have to plan for beating the Act 1 boss because it's Ironclad. I think this will help a lot. We have the ward gems. We have all 4 defense. Maybe if we find another block card, I'll take it. It's usually pretty good to do. Vent Steam as well is pretty good, but I think we take this first and then see. We have 66. So I could buy a potion as well. That's part of the thought process here. If I buy Vent Steam, I can't. Do an attack potion or a swift potion help me very much. We would be fighting Lagavulin or Sentries next. The potion would definitely help for that. Lagavulin's scary because I don't really have the kind of scaling you would need to beat Lagavulin without taking a bunch of damage. So taking the attack potion is pretty smart for that. Actually, Vent Steam helps with that too, doesn't it? The Vent Steam would definitely help a lot with that. Considering that we have so much physical damage in the deck, it would be very beneficial as well for later, so I wouldn't actually regret adding that to the deck, I don't think. It's more gem slots as well. It also helps against Ironclad. I think that's the biggest reason to take this here, so I'm going to. And we're going to hope that that's correct. We did find the sentries. Okay, between Akabeko and Preserved Insect, literally just drawing Atama Beam would kill here. So I think I'm going to just take the good instincts. Ooh, do I play the planning? That's a big question. Because if it hits Atama Beam, then I can't play it for another couple turns. And that would be just in the case that I draw further and faster to it, but I think it's about the same probability that it goes in. We'd be in there for 3 turns. Okay, for our win condition, don't play any attacks. Right? Maybe that was incorrect. Maybe I do kill one. But we didn't miss, so this time it didn't matter. And can't really take up Nunchaku there since the Akabeka was important. There's a free Vent Steam. There's also a Charge Up. And I'm very much liking the Charge Up, both for scaling and for some short-term defense. It would kind of matter which turn I drew it on, of course, but I think this will help against Ironclad as well. Or Lagavulin. So with these 2 potions, I think if we rest, we can afford to take another Elite and then go into Ironclad. I'm not really scared of Knob anymore. I am kind of scared of hallway fights, but those are unavoidable. So yeah, resting again is fine. There may be an argument for taking a little bit less of an aggressive path in Act 1, just so I don't have to rest so much. But I think, regardless, it was worth taking this path. These relics will give us a lot of benefit in the long term. 9. Boss Potion. I think it's better than Temporal Potion. Piercing Hide, Reroute, Crystal Ray. Reroute is especially good against Ironclad because when you play a card, it won't go to the discard. It will instead go into stasis. And that means better hands whenever your deck is flooded with statuses. Piercing Hide is also a thing because of Twin Slam. But I think with potions, we'll be fine in the short term to not take more damage. So I think we need to just take this for Ironclad and keep moving. Alright. Mayhem is interesting. But I think it can just hit skills and then we take more damage from Gremlin Knob rather than actually doing damage for us. So I think we just take Thinking Ahead. We're going to save this for next turn, since it can be played twice. And with any luck, we'll get... Yeah. Okay, let's be diligent about our Nunchaku. Maybe we can be so diligent as to do this. And tick it up 2 more times. There we go. Mabank is here. Weak Potion is here. Weak Potion is very good against Ironclad, but these potions are also just very powerful in general. Time Sifter is back yet again. With Stasis Strike, Accelerate is not as appealing. Because with more slots, 1 Accelerate is not going to do as much. Usually you want to fill those slots rather than empty them. It's interesting because like the mechanics of stasis are very similar to orbs actually, in terms of like what's good with each other and what's not. Defect has focus, orb slots, and loop. Were those the 3 things that I was going to go for? Yeah. Like, focus works with orb slots and focus works with loop. But orb slots and loop don't really mix well. Usually getting one orb to proc multiple times is a little bit weaker than filling up your entire orb slots. Similarly, Accelerate is not as good with large numbers of orb slots. I don't know if there's a focus equivalent in this analogy. Maybe I'll think of one later. Or maybe you have already. I think with the Twin Slam, as I was mentioning earlier, the block card, the desire for a block card is pretty good. Pretty big right now. Temporal Shield is nice because I have the stasis potential right now. You've got the planning, the curl up, the charge up, reroute, charge core. Temporal Shield will be able to go off pretty easily. We'll draw 3 statuses to better things. I think it will overall be a positive card in our deck. And yeah, now I'm feeling pretty confident in our chances against Ironclad now. Especially with Guardian gear, the extra 20 block is especially useful. I think our chances of survival are very high. Neither of them are attacking. Okay. So we could take Panache. We have Twin Slam for that. Does it even matter? Also, have you noticed that this is still easy pull by the end of the act? One of the major things about Downfall is that that first campfire replaces a mandatory fight. So if you end up taking more merchants for card rewards rather than normal fights, if you take a bunch of question marks and elites, you're going to end up with this happening. Oh, you know what? I take Jack of all trades here. In the off chance it gives me Hand of Greed. You got Mind Blast, okay. You can always dream. We're up to 9 again. I didn't even keep an eye on that, it just happened. Still gotta be careful about that. I don't think we take a second reroute. I've had runs in the past where I take multiple reroutes for stasis stuff. Turns out, spending 1 energy to put 1 card into stasis is kind of weak in the late game. It's not as strong as I had hoped. Clone, on the other hand, like putting a copy of a card, that's different because, you know, duplicating cards is insane. Is it strong here? We have Atoma Beam. We have Charge Up. We have Twin Slam. Those are usually good targets to put into stasis as a copy. Twin Slam, especially if you get multiple copies, then your strong gem combos are just very, very good. Also, again, creating an extra card for Ironclad is very good. We're approaching 19 cards here. But we have Planning and Charge Core and Temporal Shield to draw through a bit. I think I could afford to take this. The only problem was that Clone is kind of just a do-nothing card the turn you draw it, so you're a little bit more vulnerable. We do have potions, though, and it would help with our scaling, so I think I will be taking this time. Alright, Ironclad. Alright, I don't think this is Panache. Mayhem is interesting, for Ironclad especially. I don't think it could hit anything that could screw us over. Curl Up could hit, if it hit Curl Up and then Curl Up hit something bad, that would be sad. I could hit Atoma Beam on a turn before Ironclad is doing a big attack. That would also be sad. But I think overall it's fine. Discovery would be the other option, but Discovery can also be kind of a mediocre, can kind of give us mediocre cards. Also, at the very least, even if Mayhem hits a status card that Ironclad generates, it's not a big deal because it's still technically drawing through those cards. That's an important bit. I once had a run with Silent where I had Mayhem and Nightmare. I Nightmared the Mayhem against a Chosen, played all of them, and just played all the skills. There were so many dazes, but because I had even 4 Mayhems, they would just play through them and I would get good hands. Or at the very least, the Mayhems would play good cards. You know what, I think I'm going to show this off this time. I don't think we need just either one over the other. This costs a little bit more, but I think that's fine. I could even clone the Mayhem. That'd be funny. I have Nunchaku on 9, but I don't think I want to use a strike this turn. I think I'll save it for a turn where I need the energy more. I think cloning Mayhem is a little slow. So I'm going to clone the Charge Up. Put 2 of those into stasis for next turn, because Ironclad is going to be doing a lot of damage. 26, I believe? Yep, 26. Although, if the vulnerable wears off, because I have Horseshoe, it only applied 1 vulnerable. If it wears off, then this will be what? He's weak? Why is he weak? Oh, from the doubt on the first turn. So yeah, this will be like 5 and 17 minus 5 is 12. So like 17, which means I'm already full blocking. That's interesting, for sure. I have Nunchaku. I'm not currently full blocking this. But I want to play these 3 attacks before... like, just to end the fight faster, you know? I'll be taking 8 damage. It's not ideal, but if I draw a Curl Up next turn, then I would be able to put myself into defensive for the turn after, which is another big attack turn. Ironclad always alternates between big attack and no attack turns, other than turn 1 and then like after a certain cycle later on. So I think I am going to take the damage here. Put Stasis Strike in so I can play it again. I could use a potion in this fight. I'm feeling somewhat confident that I don't have to, though. Okay, so Mayhem hit Temporal Shield, which means I don't shuffle these back. That's funny, but also kind of sad. I have 1 less energy this turn, so I'm going to play Charge Core and Curl Up. And Descender's Bane goes into stasis again. Put this into stasis again. Might as well. What are we playing this time? Defend. Okay. This turn's not great. But that's okay. We still have Distilled Chaos to bail us out. Although, 7 damage is not that big. We can block that very easily. Do some more damage. Block all the debuffs. Now we're not even vulnerable for this turn, which didn't even matter. Yeah, let's put Curl Up in stasis. Okay. Not a terrible hit. Well, not the worst hits, but I would have preferred that the 0-cost defend went back, because it would come out again next turn. Yeah, another big attack turn here. I would very much like to play Twin Slam with Distilled Chaos if I can. So I'm going to do that, or at least I'm going to try. I'm going to play everything except my actual cards. Please draw Twin Slam. Not today. Okay. Alright, I guess we'll just save it for a couple turns from now then. We're not dead, right? This is 24, 32. We take 11, that's fine. Again, the objective is just to survive the fight. You don't have to keep all your HP. If you're alive, you're winning. And in this turn we have the big Immolate turn, which at this point in the fight usually kills people. But we do seem to be prepared enough to not care. We went into defensive last turn. We have so much block this turn. Play this for another 10. I'm going to. We have 73 block in Act 1. We're going to play Vent Steam again. Okay, we hit the right defend this time, which is impressive. We do still need to kill here, though. I think Mayhem's putting in some serious work right now. Draw me a card. Okay, we drew a wound. Still fine. Yeah, so if you notice, we got 2 block turns in a row there. That's because Ironclad has gone through his first cycle of attacks. So there wasn't really much to do there. This is going to be 7, 7, 9. No. 8, 8, 10. It's 26. And this is 32, so we take 6, 8, 10. So we are dead. Unless we either have enough damage here or we use the boss potion. So this is 32, and that's 9. Okay, that's a kill. Alright, GG. If you were sweating there at the end, so was I. It's a very close fight. Sometimes. Most of the time, honestly. We have Construction Form, Stasis Field, and a Gem Cannon. So in the first run we demonstrated how strong Construction Form can be. On 3 energy it's a little bit more awkward. Sure, the buffer is strong and all, going into Act 2. But Stasis Field is both strong in the short term and the long term. You gain 7 block when you play it, and you place it into stasis. Then when it leaves stasis, you gain 7 block, and then you can play it again to put it back into stasis. So every 2 turns, you're gaining 14 block. It leaves a bit of a weak point during your turns, but I think with everything we've got going on with stasis, with the Twin Slam, and the Dex Ward, the Dex Gem, I keep saying Dex Ward, this is very strong, and only 1 cost. I think this will be worth in the long run. Gem Cannon, this card is also absurdly strong. Usually you have a lot of gems. There are many cases where you'll have a lot of gems at the end of Act 1, or at least enough for it to be very impactful. You can basically just end Act 2 hallway fights the turn you draw it. It's kind of similar to Giga Beam. Kind of what we're going for with Atomic Beam a bit, but I think this is our answer. Especially going into Act 2, taking a block card is, like, never wrong. Okay, so we got 3 energy options. That's funny. With Maw Bank, we do not take Ectoplasm. Quick note about Ectoplasm, though. In Downfall mode, the keys usually cost 100 gold to break, but Ectoplasm makes it in Downfall mode that they cost 0. It doesn't say that in the tooltip. It used to, but I think it's just bugged. But yeah, with Maw Bank, I think we don't take this. If we kept the wheel and didn't use it, we definitely wouldn't want this in case we want to take the gold option. So that means our choices are either Coffee Dripper or Makeshift Battery, which would give us slimes in our discard pile every turn, or a slimed. We did Coffee Dripper last time and it was pretty good. I'm not sure how strong we actually are to be able to skip resting this time around. We have a couple good things going on for us, but we don't have any absurdly strong combos. We used our Distilled Chaos. Our Bosch Potion is there, but usually it's not block. And if it is, it's like 10 or like 8 healing, in the case of the Awakened One's power card. I think we can make this work. A lot of people are scared of this because of the extra statuses on your second draw. And honestly, I kind of am as well. But I've taken it before and been able to work around the statuses a lot better than I thought I would. We also have plenty of stuff for stasis, so we can get rid of the slimes by putting them there, or even just put cards into stasis and then get good turns anyway. We also have draw, like I said before. Turns out building for Ironclad is also decent for building for Makeshift Battery. Ooh, the lag here. Alright. Tell you what, I'm going to see if I can figure out what's going on with the lag. I'm also going to turn the air conditioning on because it's really warm in here. That shouldn't mess with the audio too much when I come back. But I'll see you in just a second. So, we're back. I opened Task Manager and saw what was causing some lag, and I think that doing this is going to help. I made the game full screen. If you see an aspect ratio difference on YouTube, I'm sorry for making the jarring change, but we will be doing things like this from now on as long as this solves the lag. I believe it will. Alright. Hit the deck again. We have Atomic Beam to help with our elite fights. We got 4 energy now. We're a little bit vulnerable. We have a Boss Potion. We're at 51 HP. 3 elite routes are looking pretty spicy. But they do have shops on both routes if I decide to go left instead. Do miss out on it. Do I? No, there's only one campfire on these routes. If I were to take the 3rd elite, I could go this way. What about the start of the act? So I have the option to take like 4 fights or 4 question marks, or a mix of the two if I want them. Or I could go this way and get 2 and 2. Anyways, burning elite in Act 2 is usually pretty scary as well. Slavers or Book of Stabbing with max HP or strength is very scary. The only one that's not too frightening is Gremlin Leader. Gremlin Leader, well, at least not more than it already is. It's kind of a scary fight because of the RNG involved. Gremlin Leader can attack at any time, and she will. But these other two, the Book of Stabbing and the Slavers with the Emerald Elite buffs, yeah, it's just very, very scary to deal with. So I think we start on the left here, and then we can flex path from here, either go down this way for the safer path. Although I guess if we want to take the shop on this path, we also have to skip the campfire. We'll decide when we get here, I think. I don't think we want to take this many fights, but I could be incorrect. Usually at the beginning of Act 2, I want to avoid fights because hitting the baseball, or the Sphere Guardian, I guess, or the Avocado, hitting those hallway fights, they hit so hard on turn, well, Avocado hits hard on turn 1. They take a lot of HP away from you in the early fights, so skipping directly to the elites will make it a lot easier. Because you'll have a lot more HP. And we do want to hunt elites because of Preserved Insect in the first place. So I think we just keep going. What to do here? We are probably upgrading Atoma Beam. Usually when you have a large AoE card like that, it's a good idea to upgrade that before going into Act 2. I don't really see a better option here. I guess a couple, like, all the good upgrades that are in this deck would be Vent Steam, eventually, for 3 vulnerable. Charge Up for 1 energy, which gets put into stasis for 2 turns. No, 2 turns? Yes, 2 turns. Right now it gets put in for 1 turn. It's always 1 more than the energy cost. Temporal Shield to draw 1 more card. Clone to accelerate, and Stasis Field to get 3 more block. Technically 6 every time it comes out of stasis and you put back. So those are all the upgrades I'm looking at, but Atoma Beam is just undoubtedly the best one. You could also recall at any time to break the key later, but going into Act 2, this is undoubtedly a good decision. Especially with Akabeko, that will go to 42, which I don't think kills a Slaver outright, but is generally very good. Alright, 4 energy, I think we take Master of Strategy and look for Atoma Beam. And hope we hit it. We didn't, but that's okay, because we hit Twin Slam. With 5 decks, we're blocking for more than enough here. 5 plus 3 is 8, 16, 26. So I can play Twin Slam and 1 attack, probably Charge Core. Quick note about these guys. The Looter always does more damage than... Are they all both called Looters? I swore one of them was called Mugger. Huh. Anyway, this guy, the guy with the glasses and the duller clothes, hits for a lot harder. But they usually have about the same HP, so... If you are not that experienced with with Slay the Spire in general, by the way, just got Nunchaku, if you're in doubt, go for the one in the back a lot. This holds true for this fight. It holds true for Slavers because the Red Slaver attacks with the vulnerable and the entangled effect that doesn't let you attack. The Darklings, even in Act 3, the 2 outside ones, have the ability to do a double attack while the middle one doesn't. So generally, aiming for the back one in most scenarios is good. Aiming for one of the outside ones in sentries is correct too, so aiming for the back will do that as well. But usually you look at HPs first before you do that. So 8, 16, 26. I don't think we want to play the "Are we going to find Atomic Beam" game, so I'm just going to attack this. If we waste Atomic Beam, so be it. They're both attacking next turn. We don't want to take damage. We did. That's fine, though. I believe I will be playing this. Oh yeah, and then we just kill. Cool. No meta scaling in the deck, so we don't have to worry about that. They can't rob us because we use souls, which is kind of funny. You know, you may have seen before that Ectoplasm was looking pretty blue instead of green. That's in order to match the souls instead of the gold. I'm surprised they didn't do something similar with Mob Bank, because they did actually change Old Coin, they changed Courier, they changed Membership Card. I guess they just missed this one. I might submit feedback about that, because I think they'd be open to making an old skin for that. Or maybe I could. I'll think about that. Is it just me, or was this like... I guess getting 3 common cards is like, you're going to have seen that combination at some point in your career. You have this many hours in the game. I don't think we want another Charge Core. It takes, at this point, it's just taking up another slot in the deck. Like, eventually it'll go draw positive, but we need front load right now. Front loaded block especially. Or at least to just kill things. By the way, question marks just don't matter in this game. You're getting fights anyway. That's just how it is sometimes, I guess. And we're doing this. I didn't even look to see what those were. We got 2 Crystal Rays and a reroute. Not terrible. Like, 0 cost 14 damage. Pretty good. What are the odds of this saving 11 damage? We have 23 plus 12 is 35. Yeah, it's not even close. Let's just put this into stasis. Ooh, I should have cloned it first. But this exhausts, so it doesn't use up reroute. So we're good. Yeah, check that out. It goes back. So we take 11, that's fine. We're probably going to kill this turn. That's the hope, at least. Oh, right, play Twin Slam first. The second slam counts as gems, so now this does 18. Should I have done that? Maybe not. Could have taken that pen a bit more, I guess. In theory. We're fine, though. As long as we don't take a ton of damage, we're good. Shield Spikes and Shield Charger are both standing out to me right now. Shield Charger is almost front-loaded block. Gives me a lot of block on the next 3 turns. Not the turn I play it, but the next 3 turns, and that's often worth it. But Shield Spikes is also here. And it does something very similar, but immediately. It even braces. Both of these cards brace, they both give block. I talked a little bit yesterday about roll attack and how the AoE part is not usually going to happen. And then by some sort of act of God, we got to play it 3 times with the AoE effect. This is kind of similar. Gain 4 temporary thorns if in defensive mode. Usually doesn't happen. And in fact, oftentimes I don't want that to happen because the Brace 8 is important for staying in defensive mode. 4 Thorns is just not that good on a 2-cost card. You could make the argument that Ironclad has Flame Barrier, which does essentially the same thing without a condition. And I will agree that those the reflection damage is very good on Ironclad. It's very powerful against certain creatures, but when you're offered the choice between 4 Thorns or going into defensive faster, I would rather go into defensive faster. So what do we need right now? We just took 11 damage. I obviously would like to take Shield Charger, but hmm, I can see myself regretting taking this. This would just be like a little sad that I didn't take this because it's usually a lot more power in the long run. I feel like that's a pattern in Slay the Spire for a lot of players. You want to take the option that's going to give you the most power eventually at like one point, and these are the kinds of cards. Scaling is always like that, but sometimes you just got to take the card you know you're not going to regret later. We got a heal. Okay. Yeah, so in Downfall you get different options for this. You can't take a curse. You still have the sacrifice option, which is like, why is it here? But you can also pay 50 souls to heal an absurd amount of HP. Someone on the Downfall Discord server pointed out that this might be an unintended feature, because it actually goes up at Ascension 15. I think the heal is a lower percentage below Ascension 15, and it's higher, which is why you can pay 50 souls to get half your HP back. So maybe that'll eventually be changed. Gaining 25 for 50 souls, I think, is definitely worth it when you're about to fight all these elites. Especially when it means we can take the right-hand route and go ham. In theory, anyway. We might still get swatted. Maybe that's not the correct word to use. That's actually a thing. Anyways, we're in one of my favorite events of Downfall, the Grimforge. It is Guardian's personal gem tinkering area. You get to do all sorts of things pertaining to gems. 4 different options. This should really be at the top, in my opinion, Transmute. Because remove a card, gain a random gem. You're going to want to do that in 99 out of 100 situations. And pretty much you want to always do that first anyway. Let's remove a strike, right? We got Twin Slam, Charge Cord, Tongue Beam, Stasis Strike, Reroute. Yeah, we should be, and we have a boss potion, so yeah, we should be fine to remove strikes still. Ooh, and we got one of the best gems in the game, Quartz. I think I had one of those last run. Maybe? I don't 100% remember. Oh, and that's only yesterday for me. For you guys, this is probably coming out a couple days after, to give you time to digest the first one. If you wanted to, anyways. I know that these videos are probably all going to be over 2 hours long, at least for the most part. Maybe not all. But I know that not everyone has the time or the patience to really watch that far. And here I am talking about it instead of playing. So yeah, that Quartz is very good. I like to put Quartz in, stuff like Planning, 0-cost cards that do nothing. Just make it a cantrip, you don't spend any energy, it becomes essentially a free card. You get your scaling for free, the stasis stuff, and you draw a better hand. Sometimes it can be good in Vent Steam for a very similar reason. Even though you're spending 1 energy, you're playing a card that essentially does nothing for you if you need block. It's all about keeping yourself from being too vulnerable. This could go in Twin Slam sometimes with the Citrine, the energy gem, and be just a deal 14 damage, draw 2 for free, for 0 energy basically. Or it could go in Bobble Burst with Citrine for the same reason. Becomes a 2 energy, gain 3 energy, and draw 3, which is like a super adrenaline. You trade the second energy from Adrenaline Plus for an extra draw, which is often better. Maybe not always. Silent already has a lot of draws, maybe the energy's worth more. But yeah, Quartz, in addition to being really strong and just putting it putting it in weak cards or with strong gem combos, it's also essentially a free card to take in any deck. There's next to no downside to taking it. You're adding an extra card to your deck, but it replaces itself. So it's like you don't have it until you need to socket it. And with as strong an effect it is, it's in a card, taking it without any kind of risk is just very strong. I've actually advocated for this to be a rare card for that reason. Maybe it's underwhelming at rare, but I think it would still be worth doing. Maybe there's some argument for not doing it, like you immediately get a campfire afterwards from getting it from a boss. So maybe then you make it draw 2, and then it's even more powerful. That would certainly feel like a rare card. But anyways, now that we've done that, I'll tell you about the other options. Dismantle. You remove a card with gems and gain the gems back into your deck. So if I used it on Twin Slam, I would destroy Twin Slam and get both the Dex and Ward back, and then I could like put in Vent Steam. That's like a viable play that I do sometimes. Like I said, Vent Steam is sometimes just a very vulnerable card. No pun intended. It makes you vulnerable because it doesn't do anything to block when you might need to draw block. So sometimes you make the card have less weaknesses. In our first run, we put 2 strength gems into it, I believe. Or maybe it was a strength and a quartz. I don't 100% remember. You probably remember if you just watched it. But yeah, instead of you can go either way with that, really. You can make it a combo tool, or you can cover its weaknesses. So like, this isn't a terrible play to do, but since these are multiplying, it's probably better to keep it. This is the opposite, Pride. You destroy all the gems in a socketed card. We could do that with Twin Slam, and then put the quartz in, and then hope for a citrine, and then that would be different. But again, I don't think that's the correct idea. Do I even have gems in anything else? I do not. By the way, you can't destroy, you can't use these on anything that doesn't have a gem in it already. So I can't just use this to gain a free remove on, say, Reroute. I would want to keep it, but, you know. So anyway, we get to Enhance now. We're going to put this in Planning, and we're just going to leave. The times where you get that and you have a lot of gems to work with, and maybe some bad cards to dismantle, it's a real lifesaver event. Get a big power boost sometimes from that. Alright. Dramatic entrance against Gremlin Leader. It's perfect. Okay, it's a little less perfect. That's okay. There is a world in which... No, if I use Curl Up and it hits Dramatic Entrance, it comes out next turn, but Gremlin Leader is not summoning, so... Maybe we still keep it, and then draw back to it. I can see it being very useful that way. Okay, let's do this. Okay, and then I guess if we get enough damage next turn, we just kill? Oh, I guess we just, I guess we just lose the 1 and 4 here. That's fun. We have 3 energy. This is 15 block, we take 18. I don't know how often Boss Potion saves us enough for that to be worth it. We fought 2 enemies, we got 1 potion, we're at 40% potion chance. By the way, sorry about the sudden scrolling. I'm playing this game on trackpad, and sometimes it acts up a little bit more than I would like it to. Dex Potion would save us 4 here. I think we get a kill by the time she resummons anyway, so I don't think it would save us more than that. When would it save us more than that? Against Book of Stabbing, maybe? That might be reason enough not to. Maybe I should use the Boss Potion then. Yeah, you know what? Well, I have 23 damage, so I need 44. I don't think there's a card in the boss pool that does 44 damage. I could get Invincible, which is a card that reduces, that caps out my HP damage at 10. That's the Hearts boss card. I could get Awaken for 8 more HP after the fight. I could get Slime Crush, which gives 10 block. Actually, it's 11 since I have Dexterity. That wouldn't be terrible to hit. So those are 3 hits in 9 possibilities. There's a boss card for every boss in the game plus the heart, so that's 10, and you can't get your own boss card, so that's 9. Are there any more hits? Hexaghost is offensive, Champ is strength and lose your debuffs. Collector is weaken? Okay, that's a 4th hit, I guess. It would block for 9 then. Donu Deka, I could get plated armor. Okay, I think this has enough hits that it's worth using here, at 40% potion chance. Oh gosh. You know, sometimes you roll the dice and you lose. How many hits did I say that we had? We had the 3 originally from Awaken, Slime Crush, and... Oh wait, sorry, we had Awaken, Slime Crush, and... I completely forget. Let's go through all of them again. Awaken, Slime Crush, You Are Mine, Donu Dekas. That's 4 hits. To miss all of that is... Oh wait, no, there was Invincible. That's 5 hits out of 9. So to lose that 3 times in a row is 64 out of 729. That's like a... It's like a 1 in 12. Maybe 1 in 11. To lose that. It's like a 8 or 9% chance. Oh well. The odds are sometimes just not in your favor, as much as you hope it would be. And if I draw a card here, well, I don't really have a choice, do I? Yeah. By the way, there wasn't any way for me to get this defend. I had 3 energy. 1 had to be used on reroute. 1 had to be used on the defend to put it into stasis so that Temporal Shield drew a card. And you know, none of the boss cards draw cards, so just taking 18 here. Going into defensive. I used 2 Atama Beams already. I'm looking to see if I have a way to kill without using Nunchaku. I don't think I do. Yeah, let's just use some attacks on Gremlins to take it up a bit. Or just... Oh my gosh. No attacks? Hello? Okay. Temporal Shield, draw another? Okay. Looks like we're just using Pen Nib here. Or, I'm still on yesterday's run. Nunchaku. It's a little bit unfortunate, but we did get a potion back. So, maybe that was actually correct. We killed Gremlin Leader before she attacked again, so... We might have actually lost more HP if we hadn't used that, so... Bobble Burst is here, and this time it is free. I'm willing to invest in a Bobble Burst again. See if we can find some gems. It's before the first half of Act 2 is over. I guess I'm going to go here like I said I would. This thing flashing made me think I had Cursed Key for a second. I'm like, wait, I shouldn't open this, should I? I'm not taking Ceramic Fish. I have enough gold already. And, you know, taking a blue key early isn't bad. Get 10 max HP out of it sometimes. Or rather, at some time. I don't think Apotheosis is the play. That's using 2 energy on a turn of being attacked for 34. I think we use Dark Shackles. Okay. Decent block. I would be hoping for Atama Beam. That basically kills all 3. Do I then use the Dex Potion? Let's do this first, and if I draw a block card, I think I will. Okay, we got Charge Up, which is good block for next turn. I guess that counts as a block card, because then I block next turn for the same amount. Yeah, we're going to hope for the Atama Beam, I guess? That could have, this kind of takes me back to the Sentries fight, where I said it might have been wrong to do that because they were so low HP. Sort of a similar situation. Atama Beam attacks for 34. With Akabeko it's 42, which is cool, but killing the back one first might be a better idea, simply because If he entangles me next turn and I don't draw a Tama Beam, and then I draw a Tama Beam on the turn that I'm entangled, that's really bad. So I think we just use the Dex Potion here. This is 18, 27 out of 34. This could heal. This could save me 7 HP. I mean, it can't hurt to use it, right? We got a potion, so we're at 30%. I think we're going to use this. Speed Potion. Yeah. Right? This is 28 then? 37? Okay, that's a full block. That's good enough for me. It's a hard potion to use anyways. We're going to do this on you. And then do 25 damage. Okay. Okay, we're going to be vulnerable instead. Draw me a Tama Beam. Okay. We're not weakened again, so that's good. So 34 damage next turn. That means that'll kill the Taskmaster. We're already full blocking at 22 versus 21. I guess we just clone this, then use it. And we're going to do this. And maybe the math works out. 26, there you go. I am going to tick up Nunchaku again. Matryoshka. This is right after getting our... Great. Compile package. Very strong card. With 4 energy especially, it's a lot better. It's just got a lot of general utility. It can pretty much do anything. It probably won't do exactly what you want all the time, but that's kind of just like Toolbox anyway. And you do have like defensive hits, like Spheric Guardian gives you a Spheric Shield in their package. Is there anything else that even gives you block? The effect doesn't, shapes don't, automaton doesn't, Donu Deca gives you temporary dex, that's it. What else? It doesn't really give you that much block, but we might be fine for block anyway. I think having another chance to get, like, Giga Beam or something in certain fights, I think is worth taking for. We'll have to see if that was correct. We're about to go to a shop. By the way, breaking keys does not break Mawbank. It's specifically when it's at a shop, and I've done this before. I would want to upgrade Compile Package now. Breaking the Sapphire. It's probably a safe play to do anyways. But if I want to... I think I'm probably going to skip this shop and go to this one. Because I have Mawbank. Gets me another 36. Plus 15, 51. So I'd be at 353. That'd be just below being able to buy a rare relic. So I guess we wait. We wait until we kill the merchant. And we upgrade Compile Package. Ooh, Hand of Greed is here. Let's see if we can get a kill with it. Okay, this is flying, so this should not kill. Okay. Oh, by the way, packages, they don't have their costs discounted, so if I took the bronze package and used Giga Beam, I wouldn't be able to use Hand of Greed, but I think it would just kill the bird anyway. We're gonna use the sentry package. And there's no reason to use clone here, so... Excuse me. Let's just keep doing damage. I don't think we use Temporal Shield because I have 0 energy after that. I think we do this, though. Yeah. Is this enough? No. 12 block. How much damage do I have in the draw? I'll be weak again next turn. This is 10 right now, and I would need 17. We'd round that up to like 24, maybe 25. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have enough without Vent Steam, so I think I'm going to do this. And we're just going to let Sentry Wave go. And we did it. 6 damage chosen in Bird Fight. I maybe could have waited for the Hand of Greed to come back around. I'm just realizing I didn't. But, you know. I think that would have been playing a dangerous game. Chosen gets very strong very fast, and she had already used a weaken draining strength. Could take a second shield spikes. It's not a bad idea. Could take this Garnet to put into Vent Steam to make it vulnerable for a 3rd turn, and then I wouldn't have to upgrade it. It's also a pretty good option. Down to 41 HP again. What is happening? Imagine if we didn't take that heal earlier, we'd be at 16. It's not very much, is it? Garnet, I mean, with 4 energy is not always great, but like I have a few expensive cards and ways to draw. I think taking another shield spikes is a little too short-sighted. Front load is great and all, but in the long run it can actually hurt you. So I think we're going to do that. What fight could we get here? Snake Plant? Could take another event. Well, in theory, an event. I think I'm going to take the event, because there's always a chance it's also a treasure chest, which means that I get Matroshu proc. Ooh, interesting. So, who we bought so far? We fought Ironclad 1, we're fighting Hermit 2. That means our Act 3 options are Silent, Defect, and Watcher. If we hire the bandits, they do like about 100 damage, maybe, no, it's like 80 damage to the boss, and weakens them for 2 turns. But alternatively, I could just fight them. I don't have great potions for this fight. Also, I'm not sure about how good Red Mask is here. I used to think it was a really good relic, and I think it still is for, like, removing Artifact, but, it's recently felt a lot weaker. Turn 1 weaken is not effective in a lot of fights going into later in the game, which is kind of sad. So I'd just be fighting for another golden card reward. I mean, if I draw a Tama Beam early, it's fine. If I draw a Compile Package and get the Giga Beam, it's fine. With Akabeko, I can probably still kill one of them quickly. You know what, we'll fight. Don't want to lose Preserved Insect. Panache. Ooh. Oh, that's nasty. Let's take it. Okay. Panache. Charge up. Temporal Shield into... nothing. 3 more cards. We're doing this and this. Hopefully get it next turn, and that. 10 damage. As for future turns, Compile Package will play 2 cards for free. 1, 2. It doesn't matter. And no, well, should I? I should probably take up Pen Nib. Yeah, I can play a couple more attacks first. It's not bad. 1, 2, and 3. Well, technically 2. Okay, we got a Fire Potion. That's pretty good. I think I'll toss out the Essence of Steel for that. Aquamarine is back. So is Ancient Power. I don't think Ancient Power is very good here. Don't have a lot of burst that we can combo it with. The upgrade would be interesting, but like, I'm not really scaling temporary buffs that much. The Aquamarine is pretty free though. Even going into a boss fight without it socketed, it's fine. I could put it into Vent Steam, like I said, with the Dex Gem. Could put it into Reroute. I could put it into Bobble Burst if I get the Dex Gem, and then just do that. So yeah, I think it's worth taking. Hand of Greed against the Merchant, huh? That's funny. I still don't think we have any cards that screw me over if I play Mayhem here. So I think I'm going to try and get a little bit of extra value out of this. Okay, that's fine. I don't mind drawing through my 2 cost 10 damage card. Good job, Mayhem. You did good. You did real good there. Oh gosh, that's funny. I guess we do this. And the reason is, you can do this, and play the Sentry Waves to put 2 Sentry Blasts into stasis, and then get the damage next turn. We just draw 1, because that doesn't do anything. Oh, we could also do that, I guess. That's fine. I wonder if we could have gone into defensive there. I don't think we could have. I think we played Shield Spikes already. Where did we get the extra 4 brace from, though? Oh, it was from the 2 Sentry Waves. Because those do weak and a brace too. What was that? Whew, okay. I don't think we have enough damage to kill in 2 turns. If I use this potion. So it's 13, 13. That's 38 plus 26 is 64. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's enough. I am just going to use Nintaku, because why not? And we're back up to 5 anyway, so it's fine. Okay, so we got them from like, what, 150 to 70? From last turn. So it would have been 40 more damage and he still would have been alive. I don't think even using Fire Potion would have worked. But it's okay. We'll kill him next time. Gem Canada is back and Ruby's here. Put that in the Vent Steam with the Garnet. And we got a combo. How strong is Gem Cannon? We'd have 5 gems, so that's 50 damage, and then we lose all our benefit. There's also Gem Finder here. Gem Finder could get us our Strength Gem, could get us another Aquamarine for this, and then the Dex Gem for that. So I don't hate that. But we have decent odds of finding it anyway. We have odds of actually finding better stuff for Bobble Burst, even. So I think I'm just going to take the Ruby. Hello, Calipers. Right, we didn't get the kill, so I can actually afford to take that. The kill gives exactly 300 plus the souls refunded. So that's enough for the keys. You can also take Clockwork Souvenir to cancel the first debuff, which is often going to be this. But with since we took that, it's probably going to be that too. I don't think it's worth taking. Sometimes it is. Guardian loves having their debuffs canceled, but it only blocks the first one, so if you have multiple instances of the same debuff, you'll just get like 2 stacks, or 4 if it's thorns. 4 thorns might be alright. Apotheosis is here. I don't think we care that much about upgrades. We've got a lot of our best upgrades. Well, technically we only got 3, but they're all on our best cards, so we don't even really need one on Vent Steam since we're putting the Garnet there. It's not going to matter with Bobble Burst once we get the gem combo in it, because we're going to have to upgrade it to put the gem in it in the first place. This relic, we can mine for 2 gems at rest sites. Unfortunately, not a free action, so it's a little awkward because we can't immediately sock it. We'd have to go to a second campfire. I think we take Calipers and card remove, because I'm not liking any of the other cards either. Calipers is going to be very strong between everything we've got going on. And we're going to go fight another elite because I'm crazy. No, it's because I'm healthy. Dramatic Entrance is back. It's a little short on damage, but we could use Vexing Draft to end this fight faster. And then that would be exact. I like that. Unless we draw... Okay. Time Bomb Plus, huh? Goes into stasis for 3 turns. Next turn, she probably resummons. So that's 1, so it goes down to 2. Then after that, she buffs again, going down to 1. And then on the turn she attacks, it explodes. So it would kill the minions she summoned, but it would be too late because she attacks then. I could also take Floating Orbs just because, you know, damage every turn is good. Also Nunchaku. Yeah, I think I will do that. I think I will do the Vexing Draft as well. Put those burns in the discard, get us our 2 decks in strength. Kill the 2 Matter Gremlins. Play Spirit Shield. No, play that package. That's what I meant to say. You need 20 or more block to play that. I'm not using Spirit Shield on that. Ooh, interesting. Okay. And we get to keep 19 of that block. Okay. We have Charge Core coming up, so I think we don't play Automa Beam. We want to take a Pen Nib, right? Although I guess that does prove that the Elixir, or the Vexing Draft wasn't necessary. Ooh, we get to play a lot of attacks here. Okay. 11? No, something do 12? Okay, that does 12. So I'll play everything else on a different gremlin. And then play this. Goodbye, wizard. Tiny chest. Okay. So maybe we can guarantee Matryoshka goes off. There's our Dex gem that I was talking about before. I'm taking it. I have 4 unsocketed gems. I don't care. I'm going into the boss fight with it, and I'm gonna win. Ooh, it's Snake Plant. And he's attacking. He's mad. We just end the fight in 3 turns? Do I Swift Strike? I don't know. If I draw Vent Steam Atoma Beam, that's 63. And then Snake Plant would have 20 left because of that. I would be dealing 10 damage. I would have 14 left. So I would need some other attack as well. Compile Package would do it. Alright, we'll take Swift Strike and hope we kill this turn. We do not kill this turn. We still do a decent amount of damage. Block for most of the attack anyway, because of the Dex Gem. Thank you for showing up. Okay, we're getting that next turn. And we do want to play the rest of our cards, because Calipers get to keep our block. And I think we're just going to end the fight here. I'm going to take up Pendip a little bit, though. There's another Emerald. Not this time. Don't want either of these, either. Alright, Hermit 2. What is this? I guess we take Impatience. Okay. Hermit 2. When you attack, the cards move forward through his intents. So, when I hit him with an attack, this strike moves left, this strike moves left, and this defend moves into the third slot. So you can control what Hermit does, but you still do have to be careful. This is a pretty well-designed boss. It's unfortunately a little buggy, but ultimately well-designed because there is still a lot of risk to moving stuff through. He's got Necronomicon and Pendib, and a couple very powerful attacks that you do not want to deal with. So we're going to do this. Impatience. Planning. Alright, and then we're going to Vent Steam and play all the block cards. Being vulnerable is a little scary, but again, we can just move through all the big attacks. Or we can just do nothing. This one costs 3, and he only has 3 energy, so we can only play those 2. Let's play Compile Package and see if we can get some kind of scaling. Sentry Package. Actually, I'm more interested in the Spore Walker. But I can't really put that into stasis easily. Sentry Blast, Sentries, I guess, is fine, as is. I think I'm going to put this into stasis, though. We're going to let him sap our strength. That's fine. It's no big deal. And then we want to do this one first so that we can keep the weaken on. Play these. By the way, this is what I meant by buggy. That Hand of Greed costs 2, but it wasn't played twice by Necronomicon. So, also, it's apparently time to draw all of our gems. But that should be okay. 13 damage? He's still weakened, so it would be 9. I take 1 if I play this. That's fine. Stasis Strike is kind of important, so I'm going to play it. 6. That can't be right. It has to be 9. Yeah. Okay, so sometimes whenever a character gets stronger in the middle of a turn, the intents aren't exactly correct. Like, that said 6, but it did 9. Another big one is in the Merchant fight when they play Trip first and then their Swift Strike. The Swift Strike shows the intent of the damage without the vulnerable, which is a little bit misleading. I have forgotten about it many times. But it's okay. That's interesting. I love how it's glowing even though I have attacks in my hand. Lose an energy next turn. But I actually think it might be smarter to put myself in defensive and then maybe take a big hit instead of getting debuffed again. How much would this do? 28. Really? No, I'm vulnerable, so it's accounting for that. It'd be 19 normally, because of the 1 strength. Yeah, 19. 28, that's 56. I have almost enough block for it. I mean, I might as well. 31 all of a sudden? No, why are you playing both? That's not right. It doesn't seem to be Necronomicon, though? Usually it shows 28 times 2 for that. Alright, we're gonna find out what happens here, and I think we're okay. 107 block is nothing to sneeze at. Yeah, Necronomicon just didn't work. Then the other attack went off for some reason. Don't need to do more block there. I'm gonna get rid of the slimes. Oh yeah, I even forgot I had battery. See, battery hasn't been so bad this run. Like, we barely noticed it. Pendant, by the way, is also bugged, because it changes the intent on the card. This should be correct, 22 damage. But then the intent forgets about that and then does it again. So it's actually a ×4 multiplier. It's, yeah. Anyway, this fight seems to be going on longer than I had hoped. Not even done 100 damage yet. But maybe we'll be okay. Alright, we're just gonna attack once this time. This one works for some reason? Nope, it's 40. It changed at the last second. Oh, and I got my strength reduced again. Oh boy. I should have thought of that. Okay. We're playing Atomic Beam this turn. And I am gonna do this. Notice that because I put a copy of Stasis Field in, it was at 0, and then when I played the other one, it was at 1 cost. So now we have staggered Stasis Fields that give us 16 block each turn, which more than counteracts the Calipers. I'm gonna do damage again. You clean your debuffs, I don't care. I'm still gonna kill you one way or another. Hopefully. Your scaling is a bit scary, but, you know, I have the power of Calipers on my side. Use an energy to get rid of that. I'm already blocking for so much. And, I'm not going into defensive as much as I would like to, so maybe we can find, like, a spheric shield after this fight. That'd be cool. Alright, the slimes are starting to show up now, but I think we'll still be okay. We are still blocking for a lot. And second slam is helping a lot with that as well. We can manage our slimes. Yeah, I'm glad I bought this. I'm at -4 strength. Let's just get rid of these. Damage. Okay, I don't think we can afford to take another one of these flash powders. So, but we're gonna end up doing it anyway because I have 2 attacks. Wonderful. Okay. Sure. Might as well get the damage in while I can. Ooh. We also can't afford to keep giving him maintenance, because these attacks are going to do so much damage. Oh, the strike is doing 0. Well. I guess we don't play that. Yeah. We might just lose to this. I didn't think we had such troubles with damage, but it looks like we do. I picked, what are my other options for the compile package? I forget. Yeah, like, we literally can't stop this from happening again, and then we just do no damage. I guess we have that. And we're also falling behind on block. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna say that's it. I'm not gonna even try to survive at this point. I think that was just the end. I'll have to take a look at the run history to see what I could have changed there. At least we can still block for way too much. It didn't even go off that time. I don't know what happened there. Alright, here we go. 108. That's it. That's all I'm trying. Well, first loss of the Guardian analysis. I honestly don't recall dying to that boss very much. It was very jarring to realize that I didn't have the damage for it. Maybe I could have seen that coming if I was taking a closer look at everything that was going on, but I was killing elites perfectly fine. Maybe I needed a potion from the merchant? Who knows? Let's see. Going into Act 2, what were we offered? Roll attack, crystal ray, charge core. Maybe taking a roll attack at some point was correct. Maybe not at the beginning of the act, but I remember being offered one here. It not only helped us keep ourselves in defensive mode, but it's 16 damage for 2 energy. It would take a long time for Hermit to stop us from being able to do that. Recover and suspension? No. I skipped Gem Cannon, but I think that was pretty obvious to do. Cover an ancient power. Shield spikes. Another roll attack here. I took the Garnet, which, you know, obviously ended up being a greedy play. Matryoshka here. Spiker Protocol was a thing, but that's only when I'm in defensive mode, which gets harder to do. Yeah, I think taking the couple of roll attacks that I was offered was probably the answer. But you know. So I guess in the future I will have to keep a closer eye on just how much damage I actually have in the deck. Hermit, especially against Hermit, I need to keep an eye on that because the strength down when played multiple times is very punishing. Even just played twice, -4 strength is a lot. -2 is manageable most of the time. Although I will say, I do think I low-rolled in compile package. I was offered defects package, which is just pre-program the one card that gives stasis slots and another reroute, which is 9 damage. I used I picked the, what do you call it? The Sentries one. I forget what the third one was, even. It might have been automatons. I guess we'll just look back in the footage. I'll probably talk about it next time on this series. I'll mention what the package was and then do a quick analysis on whether or not that was correct. But on the bright side, I was very correct about my defense. The calipers was very good. Having double stasis field was insane. We did successfully beat a bunch of elites without taking damage, like a lot of damage. So I think a lot of this run was a success. It's just making absolute. It's not. It's. I think the lesson here is just not to get too comfortable with yourself. Always be asking about the boss, especially. The boss is very punishing at times. I got to keep a closer eye on those attacks. I do find myself rather susceptible to not taking enough attacks in general on Guardian. Sometimes it puts me in trouble against Niao because I have like 3 attacks in the deck that I'm trying to draw back to over and over, and sometimes I'm not even running a strength deck or a body slam deck. I think most of the time it is strength decks that I'm running that I'm just drawing back to those. But, you know, obviously, we learned here that taking something like a roll attack, a common 2-cost attack, can be the correct answer. It would have helped me stay in defensive mode and deal the damage I needed. But yeah, that's the end of the run. Let me know your thoughts about anything that happened, or don't. No pressure. Again, I'm just glad that you watched, and I hope that this series remains entertaining for you, as it is for me to record. I look forward to going through the rest of the 98 runs that we have left. All right, see you later.